Alright, here is a video review for the Masterpiece MP-21 Bumble, aka Bumblebee from the cartoon. You also get the exo-suit character. It looks like the picture in the instructions shows what I'm pretty sure is Daniel. Maybe it even specifically mentions Daniel in the Japanese. I'm not sure. And I've seen some complaints that, like, it should have been Spike, not Daniel. But really, I mean, like, the head sculpt on this thing, you can pop this head off here, is so nondescript. But, like, if you wish it were Spike and not Daniel, just call him Spike and not Daniel. It's that easy. They have the same hair and everything, so, you know, it's whoever you want it to be. I for the record, I call him Spike. But it's entirely up to you. Let me lock this focus here. So yeah, this thing comes off. So you got Spike in a little transformable exosuit, and then Bumble himself. You also get the little extra faceplate, which we'll show off when we get to robot mode. He's a 1972 Super Beetle, so slightly not the exact cartoon. Well, I mean, I guess being a cartoon, I guess that could be the model they based it off of. You get two of these little window side view mirrors on a sprue in the thing. There's a pin over here. That's not wrong. This model only had the rear view mirror here on the right side. I know because my dad used to own one. Actually, in this color. So when I was growing up, underneath you can see he's got the spare wheel cover as well as his pistol. That just stores. You just use the handle here to clip it in right up under there. And you can stick this in here. I think you pull this piece off right here. There's a little plug that you can swap out and plug the, yeah, right there. And if you take the little license plate cover off, and you can plug this wheel onto his back for both vehicle and robot mode. But if you want to, I don't use it. It's just kind of a thing. I know he had that circle on his back in robot mode, but I don't care for it. Plug that back in. There's his little thing. So yeah, he is. You'll notice, like, just in my hand, he's very wee. He's a small robot, and he should be because he's Bumblebee. So just for some quick size comparisons here, he is with the United Bumblebee, the gold version. But I've actually got the render form head kit on, so he'll be gold bug later on in the video. And just to give you a size comparison with him, so he's a little smaller than that. Here he is with Toy World's Bee, who is, again, a little bit more cartoony, looks a little bit more like the animation model on the cartoon, at least in vehicle mode. I know people don't like the blue windows, but just to give you an idea of the size comparison, if you already happen to have this figure. With G1 Bumblebee, because why not? And here he is with the Impossible Toys Gold Bee, Gold Bug variation of their little mini car, just to give you an idea of how those all scale together. So there's a bevy of bees there. Actually, we forgot one. So put them all in. There you go. There's 5 different Bumblebees. Give you an idea of his size. I'd love it if they did a Herbie repaint of this. They won't, but I'd love it. So yeah, there's the two of them together, and they're pretty cool. Focus again. So to transform these guys, Spike's actually fairly simplistic. There he is, his little, whatever his exosuit transforms into. Again, you can open this up and lift his head up so he's facing forward in this alt mode. So you guys all facing forward there. So you basically just pop this off, tilt his head forward, put the canopy back on, and then come up here, fold the arms out, flip that around on the hinge there, kind of pull this whole piece up a little bit. Yep, see, that'll pop out too. But pop that out. Rotate the arms around, pop it out again, because, of course. And then you take these, once you get that open, take these side panels, push those in, flip this up. You saw that little tab there. These will close up onto that tab. And you just bring the arms down like this. and rotate them around so they're facing forward. These little wheels fold up into the arm itself. You can see there's a couple little fists painted on the end here. And the legs, unpeg them from here and extend them and bring the knees up into place. Flip them over onto the table. Bring the feet down, unpeg the legs, and then these wheels rotate down like this, and then the white part flips around. There's a double hinge here. So you fold that right around, and it'll fit right there into the foot. You can see it's even got a little flat part that'll sit right along the, it's flat on the bottom, it'll sit right along that little foot piece. So they actually line up pretty well without having to do a whole lot. When you're going back the other way, this tab goes right into there. Hate that ball joint. I keep thinking like you can get just a little bit more range of motion out of his elbow because it's a ball joint, but the way the cap is, the opening in the cap is in the front. If the opening on that cap were on the side here, you'd be able to bend these down a little bit more, but they make it look just as awkward as the exo-suit in the cartoon. He stands, and his feet are at a slight angle, so you get a decent A stance out of him once you've got him transformed. Now, Bumblebee, obviously, you pull out the hubcap, pop out the gun, and you just kind of pop him apart here. There's there's actually a tiny little divot for a fingernail to get under here on this back piece. It's right there. You can kind of see it. That is actually molded in. It's not damaged. There's actually a little divot there. Lift that up. Oh, come on. Split the legs up. There we go. I'll pop this panel up. There we go. Bring the doors. A lot like B in that the doors and the feet are all made of the same piece. So you take that. You can see there's the waist piece sitting vertically right now. You see that whole assembly coming down. Now before you do that, you take the hood piece and flip it up, because you'll notice right here in the waist piece there's a little slot right here. So you line it up with that, and as you bring the waist piece down, you'll see that hood piece actually slides up into the body like that. I think that's really sweet the way they store that just in the torso at an angle. They make the slot line up so like you line that up and you don't even have to touch it yourself or worry about alignment. It just kind of lines itself right up and slides right in there. It doesn't look like it looks like any physical contact happens with some little ridges here on the underside of the piece versus and when you slide it out, there's a little bit of a gap, so it doesn't look like you're rubbing any of the paint off the hood. Be careful, it could happen. But it looks like the way it's designed, again, very brilliantly, there's actually about 1 millimeter of gap there, so you don't actually end up rubbing any paint off of his hood as you transform it. That's really nice. So you split the legs down here. The knees are kind of like spikes. You got to extend them up into the upper body cavity. And just rotate the feet down, rotate the feet up, or the wheels up, fold this, and then fold it around. So it's very similar to Toy World's B in that regard, although this one doesn't bring the windows with it that fold down in behind there. So there's his lower body done. Now the upper body, I come up here, lift, get the, unhook the lights. Basically the whole, you can see this whole fender side, including the light, just kind of unhooks from this piece right here. And then that whole assembly rotates down. So now the wheels are kind of hidden in the body. Bring the arms up. Unpeg them from there. I should just unpeg. There we go. You see there's a little peg here that goes into a slot on the side of the arm. That's how you know you've got it lined up going back to vehicle mode, because this is a weird angled peg. It's not right on all four sides, so it'll only plug in one way, and I guess unless you really force it. So you'll know you've got it. You just kind of have to bend his arms a little bit and plug them in right there. But then you rotate them around like this because they're facing the wrong way. And then you flip out his fists. He does have hollow forearms, but on a guy this size, it's really not a huge concern. So flip out his fists, and these little panels rotate up. They go like that. I mean, I guess It looked like you left them under here for car mode. Personally, I'd keep them on the underside of the arm, but it looks like they... Oh, wait, okay. Yeah, they are up for car mode, and then you fold them under like that for robot mode. Keep these folded down all the way. And then this whole assembly right here, you come back. There's his head reveal. Comes down like this. You can, I guess, if you want, just leave it like that. That's not the proper transformation, but you just have that sitting there. This whole assembly rotates. Again, a lot like B, except he had it in the front. And then this piece folds up and in to the body. And it folds all the way up and down like that, and then hides like that. So there's the whole properly transformed Bumblebee right there. Oh, of course, and then you flip. You can leave this flat like this. You can flip it and reveal an Autobot logo molded onto his chest. But yeah, there is Bumblebee. Get him all straightened up and standing here. And he's got some good posability. He's got a hinge here, a ball joint at the shoulder, bicep swivel, hinge elbows. No wrist swivel due to the transformation. His head is on a dual hinge. Well, it's like a hinge here and a rotation joint here. So you've got some good range of motion in his head. Universal hips, got a thigh swivel. He's got the double hinge knees. I mean, he does have some ankle tilt there in his foot, although he doesn't have a whole lot of movement forward and back. There is some, but like if you try to get him to lean too far forward, it will hit the front of his bumper. But all in all, a nice Bumblebee transformation. And again, you can, if you choose, pop this license plate off onto the floor somewhere, which we will find later because I'm not... Oh, here it is, right over here. Good. It wasn't not a... So pop the little license plate off, and you can put the that on there. It's supposed to represent that kind of detailed circle he had on his back, although it sits up too high, and just add some bulk to the back of the figure. It's there if you want it. Again, I think you could totally get away with just putting that hubcap or that wheel cover in the box and not messing with it, because I think he looks cool without it. And then, like I said, he's got his little pistol, which he can hold. And there is Masterpiece Bumblebee with Spike and or Daniel, depending on how you feel about such things. He does have that removable faceplate with a slightly smiling face. This is more of a neutral face. I do have the Amazon faceplate coming. I ordered the Amazon faceplate version, but they went ahead and sent me the figure itself, and they'll send me the faceplate when it comes in stock, so I can have that to show off in a later review. But basically, you just pop his... It takes a little doing, but right here at the split, you can... There's like a little thumb groove, a fingernail groove, kind of like on the top, where you can get in here and pop his face off. Oh, come on. Popped off just fine earlier. There we go. And you can swap it out with the smiley faceplate. There's not a whole lot of difference, I find, between the two of them. The smiley faceplate just looks a little more jovial, I guess. But it is there to swap out if you choose. This piece doesn't really seem to lock into place at all, so it can move while you're playing with it. So yeah, and there is Masterpiece Bumblebee, who's actually quite awesome. And of course, we wouldn't be a review without size comparisons, so we'll get Spike out of here and we'll just show off some of the previous Bumblebee. Well, actually, no, we'll leave Spike in there so you can see his size compared to previous Bumblebees. Here he is with his old G1 self. And again, we'll get the faceplate to show off that comparison soon. Here he is with Toy World's B. So he's a little shorter than Toy World's B, not by much. The camera angles making B look a lot taller. He's not at the same angle. They're not. B has the head, but not, you know, the very tip of his head and his horns are just slightly taller than Masterpiece Bumblebee himself. Now here he is with the Legends or United Bumblebee. In this case, Goldbug. But you can see he's just a slightly taller. His head comes up to about on the forehead, and then with the height of the backpack. He's obviously more massive, as you can see. Just a size comparison between the two of them. And here he is with the Impossible Toys Gold Bee version. So there he is with previous Bumblebees. With current masterpieces. Let's pull Bumblebee in. Pull this up a little bit. Here he is with Wheeljack. Oh, Wheeljack doesn't fit. And that looks to be about the right scale with Wheeljack, I guess. Maybe a little off, but it looks good. And here's both of them with Optimus Prime, and the MP-10 version, of course. Pull up back a little bit just to... Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Brighten the light a little bit. That was getting dim. So there's Bumblebee with MP-10 and Masterpiece Wheeljack. I think he fits right in. He looks great. I really am digging him. He's a fun little version of Bumblebee, and I like him a lot. I think if I had to choose between him or Wheeljack, I might go with Bumblebee. Even though I know he's small, and there's going to be some complaints about that. But there we go. Lock his knees in. But he's a fun little piece, and a nice representation of his cartoon self, if not 100% perfect. And again, if you don't want this mirror sticking off the side, you can pull that back out. They give you two of them on a sprue, and that's probably why, because they figure if people are going to be pulling that in and out all the time, it's likely that one will get lost. So it's nice of them to give you a couple. But yeah, there it is. Masterpiece MP-21 Bumble with exo-suit guy, Spike or Daniel, whatever you see fit to refer to them as.